Hi everybody, it's Robin from the Artsy Studio. I got a few things going on here. And first of all, real quick I wanted to show you, this is that page, or the page that I did with the that freebie, there we go, no, there we go, that freebie for your planner that I colored in. I just glued it in my page there. Let me adjust my light. I think that might make a difference. There we go. Let's see, how do I do this? There. See how cute that looks in there? I just sprayed the page with a little bit of my homemade sprays and stuck it in there. This is the other one, the uncolored one I cut out. Now, I know they looked pretty big when you would download them at first, but when you save them, if you save them to your computer, you can, before you print them out, you can shrink it to any size. So I decided to go pretty small here because I was going to put a few more things up in this area. But so that's what that looks like in my book there. I thought they turned out kind of cute. So the link's still there. If anybody's watching this video and you didn't see last night, go ahead. It says Planner Freebies and get yourself some. Now over here, these are my cups for my watercolors. There we go. Over here, I'm just working in like a sketchbook or whatever. I wanted to do something a little bit artsy tonight. So I don't know if you can see here. I'm drawing. I did spaces to do words in here. Do a little mark making. These are just pieces that were cut out when I punched out XOXO from my punch that I have. And I did it in different colored papers. So I didn't want these to go to waste. So I used them to make a flower, and then I cut one of my strips here and did a little scallop down here. This here, after I put the paint on, and I'm using the paint from Target Dollar Spot. This is the pistachio, really nice color, look at that. I just went over it with one of my rubber foam or foam stamps that I made. I wet this a little bit and pressed onto that, and I don't know if you can see it real well, but it left a kind of a neat design in there in the paint. I was just playing around. I didn't expect it to do too much, but if I really wanted to, I would do it immediately after the paint was put on. The paint would still be nice and damp, and I think I'd get a much clearer image of it. Sometimes I like that, the look of the reverse stamping or reverse stenciling also. I like to put the paint down, then put the stencil over it and take a baby wipe and wipe the color out of the design that's in the stencil. And that looks really neat. It just gives a whole different effect, you know. Because then what it does is, instead of looking like it's just stamped on there, it ends up looking like an ombre. It gives an ombre effect because you have the same color but just in different shades, you know. Or, no, it's not tint. There's tint, shade. I'm trying to remember my color theory. Well, you get what I mean. So anyways, so I'm going to work on this. And now that I got this down, I was going to go through with my, let me find it here. It's the Stabilo All pencil. And where you go around and it darkens, you know, you just trace around and it gives it that depth. Then if you go with a wet paintbrush, it activates the black, I don't know what that is in there. And then it, you know, it makes the line thicker and looks like it's painted on. But I'm not quite sure I want to go that dark with this. A lot of times then what I like to do is go with a freshly, I have to look for my tool first. I like to go with a freshly sharpened pencil, and then I don't know, I hope this is dry enough. And if you go with a good number 2, something that's kind of soft, it's not too hard, you can get a nice blurring, you know, like that shadowing effect and stuff. Let's see what this does. Yeah, I like to just work sometimes and just explain things to people as I go. There's nothing in the very middle, so I'll just do a little hole there. Now I'll take my shading tool here and just go around and do it. And to me, I have more control this way. This stuff, sometimes when you activate it, if you've got just a hair too much on the brush, too much water on the brush, it can make a mess. And I've done that. I've ruined stuff before because there was just a little too much water, and then I even brushed up against it, you know, and smeared it all down the page with my arm, and I was so disappointed. But see, that just gives it that nice shaded effect. A little bit of depth. You can go back over there, you know, and make it a little bit darker. And since these papers weren't real bright or dark or anything, I thought that would be nice to bring them out of here. And then watch the scallop come alive. I'll try not to go too thick here on it. Having a hard time seeing again. Yeah, where's my glasses? Would help, you know. Anyways, I'll just go that little bit. And there we go. Look at that. And see, it just brings it alive. I mean, there, now you say, oh yeah, there's that pretty scallop down there. So, I like working with collage sometimes. Usually I like to work with my own painted papers. But I had these punched out, didn't want to ruin them, had those strips of paper with the design on them. I didn't want to see those go to waste, you know. So there's that. What I'm going to do is draw color in each line with a different colored paint. I've gotten mostly the soft pastels, or pastel colors from the Target. They're Target paints here. So I'm thinking, oh, this one's a little bit brighter. I might mix it with white. There's a pretty, it says sherbet, but it's like a coral color. And this, oh, seems like I'm missing one. Because this says cherry blossom, and I know that I had one that just said pink. That looks a little, unless I put that one back. Let's see. And then the softer Robin's Egg Blue. So that's pretty much, actually the 5 of them, because I already have the pistachio down. That's going to be my palette, kind of springy, you know. Oh, maybe that would be a good one because there's the darker mustardy yellow in that, but we'll see. So that's what I'm doing with that. I don't know if you can see that too well. I'll move these aside and then pick it up for you so you can see it better. See, now that I went over it with the pencil and the shading tool here, it shows up more. So it's just the start of a page. Okay, now, here's something else. I want to get some interaction going, you know. I think that's always kind of fun if I can manage eventually to get more people subscribed and have them aware when I'm trying to move my chair here better. Have people be a little more aware when I'm coming on or when I've posted a video. We might be able to actually work on projects together. Here is something, my grandson came in yesterday and said, "Here, Papa," which is what our grandchildren until they're a certain age call my husband, and they call me Mima. But he says, "Papa wants to know if you want this," because my husband knows that I'm always, like making things out of interesting little boxes and whatnot. But it was from a small pack of 6 pieces of this Wrigley's, what is it called? 5? Well, anyways, 69 cent, like just a quickie you would grab from the gas station or whatever, And there was another portion here, but I cut it off because it was hooked to go in the hole and stuff. But I just thought it was a cute little box. And I thought, I would like to do something cute for Valentine's with this. So what I did was took the box apart and I traced it on here. What I'm going to do is go on my light box and trace it darker with the marker, and I will then scan it and again use the tiny pic URL so that whoever wants it, they can take, just right click, save the picture, this template, to their computer, print it off on whatever. You can probably, if you're going to use a heavy style or heavier weight scrapbook paper that's more like cardstock, you could print it off on the other side and just cut it out and make it like that, and it's already prettied up, with the print that's on the paper. But here's one that I already made up, and it takes 2 seconds. I was thinking of covering it, and I thought, no, I'm just going to leave it like that for now. I don't want to make the whole project and not show like what I'm doing as I go along. I didn't know what to do. I thought, sometimes when you're trying to hold the sides on stuff, you got to stand there forever. But I found this quick dry adhesive from Scotch, and I'm sure like even the really good, they have a tacky Aleene's tacky glue now. If it has a nice thin nozzle, it's easy to squirt just a small line on there, and I only had to hold it for a couple seconds, and it was stuck down pretty good. But I thought it'd be cute to put whatever design you'd want. It doesn't even have to be for Valentine's, but and then make something that's sticking up out of the box, little strips with scriptures on them. I love you, or well, what is that? If you want to do it for Valentine's, it could be hearts, or have something else, little strips that have the poem, how do I love thee, let me count the ways, I love you with the height and depth and breadth of something that my soul can, I don't know it. I think it is from Romeo and Juliet, maybe Shakespeare, I don't know. Anyway, but, and you can have each little piece have part of that quote or section of the play or poem or whatever you would want to call it. But anyways, I would like to make a video. I do want to complete one, though, and then have one in partial process and then one, in different processes so that you can see pretty much what I'm doing as I go. But I thought it'd be a really quick and easy project to do together. If anybody is truly interested, let me know. And the only thing is you would just have to make sure that if you have subscribed already, and if you haven't, please do, hit the bell next to it, which means that you'll get notified every time I post a new video. So then we won't be synchronizing our watches or working at the exact same time, but you could actually click on the link in the description box. You could print off your template, and at least with the video, you could work along with the video, and I can pretend that there's somebody there with me at the same time as I'm working on it and picking my style or I think I might make a couple. I might cover some with pretty printed papers, maybe some of my painted papers. I do want to paint a few. I purposely did this in watercolor paper. So it's not the real heavy stuff. It's not like 140 pounds or whatever, but oh, I don't have the tablet right here, but it's a nice watercolor paper. It takes, the water and the paint real good, because I wanted to try a different, a cute like marbling blending of colors. So pick your palette of choice, pick your papers, pick whatever. And if you're watching this and you want to do that, oh, I would love to hear from you and love to know that that's what you'd like to do. And, maybe even tell me what you think you would like to do yours in, or how you'd like to fill your little box. Or I even thought of maybe making the hearts on stems, those little like conversational hearts. That is cute. It's very cute. If that's your idea, that is super cute. But I guess my husband isn't even that kind of candy person. Doesn't matter. I'm making it for me anyways. I wanted to go with some bright colors and not even the traditional reds and pinks and, stuff like that. But like I said, I am going to make more than one, so I could do one that's more traditional and then one that's more funky, brighter colors, different, So, that is my evening. That's what I'm doing. It's late here. Not too late. Let's see. Oh, I can't see the time because the timer for the video is on. I'm going to say it's at least 11:30, quarter to 12. So it's just about time for me to be getting ready to go see these. But tomorrow I'd like to work on it, and I would like to make another video then, and maybe do a little work along. That would be fun. So I just had to come on and say hello to everybody today, and I still have some other things I'd like to show you that I haven't even gotten through, because I work in so many different not venues or genres, but I move along. I skip from one thing to the other, from a sketchbook to this and that. I haven't worked in my acrylics that much, but I used to, at least paint some kind of something on a canvas here and there, or even in my heavy-duty art journal. But now I got so sucked into the whole traveler's notebook and journaling and planning thing that I, that takes up a lot of my day, just, looking at that kind of stuff and doing things along that line. I do my Bible journaling. I do my, I have actually a journal. It's from Illustrated Faith. It was a planner that I used to do my scripture writing. I pick a scripture a day and write that, and you get that in your head as you see it as you write it, and it just seems to. That's why teachers always wanted us to take notes instead of just always handing out syllabuses or whatever, because when you write, your hand, eye, and brain all coordinate, and you seem to recall a lot better when you do that. So anyways, this was the day that the Lord created, and I was rejoicing and being glad in it, and I just hope you guys all can too, or did, and you have a peaceful sleep and sweet dreams, and God bless you. Good night.